Communication is key when it comes to partnering with stakeholders for the purpose of educating children. Sheninger 2014 communicates a vision of pride and camaraderie as more information about the great things going on at school is communicated. He recognizes that a complete change will not happen overnight, but instead it'll be a gradual change over time. Sheninger 2014. At Faith Christian School, we went through, and they're actually still going through, such a change. We've always been known for our great communication skills over the years. For as long as I can remember, we had the school bell that went home every week to parents, and the teachers had a weekly newsletter and homework sheet that would go home each week as well. We also had a same-day policy to answer notes and phone calls from parents, and parents really appreciated our honest efforts at keeping them in the loop. However, our public relations communication strategy began to change over time as the digital world evolved. Email came along, so all of our teachers were given school email addresses that parents had access to so that they could communicate easier with each other. The school bell was emailed versus printed out. School Dynamics and RedWeb came along, which basically digitized the entire school, and it gave parents information, up-to-date information, on how their children were doing academically. And a school Facebook page was created where we were able to brag about things that were going on in the school, post invites to school activities that were coming up, and give updates on how things were going. Parents felt more connected and informed than ever. I no longer work for the school, but if I were returning based on what I've learned in this course, I would start a school blog inviting parents to follow and participate in different topics, and I'd also create a Twitter account for the school as well. One of the difficulties that we ran into with going digital was that not all of the school families have access to online technology. We had a list of students whose families needed hard copies and phone calls versus the mass information that Facebook and Twitter can offer. There was always the risk that information would go out digitally that the others would not receive. A second issue that developed was the fact that many parents don't mind their children's pictures being used on in-house items like the newsletter, but when it came to the internet, it was a no-go for some, which I completely understood. So we had to have parents sign a waiver allowing or not allowing their child's picture to be used on social media. However, a great benefit of using social media for public relations purposes was that it was in real time. And for most people, it would just pop up on their mobile devices. The parents or stakeholders, they didn't have to look for the information or open an email or anything. It just popped up. Another great benefit was the money that we saved. The more digital we went, the less paper we used, the less ink we used, and the more money that we saved. And I don't know too many people that would argue with that. And finally, accessible school leaders solve problems. Inaccessible school leaders do not. Whitehead, Jensen, and Bashi, 2014, page 166. By using social media, a school administrator is putting himself out there. He's a real person telling real stories about real people, which makes himself so much more approachable. He's no longer a name on a door or someone to be feared, but instead he's seen as someone who shares thoughts and ideas and encourages other stakeholders to do so as well.